my gosh. The color correction stayed right. I wasn't expecting that I was going to be wrong. Don't look at this mess back here. Well, we're going to talk about it in a minute. Hi, it's me. So, if you remember a very long time ago, we were working on a project called Figaro that would let me control my house with playing a little piece of a melody on a keyboard, and it worked. And then I started working on this Enclosure, and this was like the prototype Enclosure, and kept like iterating on trying to get it to not sounding like garbage. Tried various sort of approaches to this music's too loud now. Sorry about that. Let's bump this down a little bit, just a touch. There, maybe. Yeah, I kept trying different things to try to make it not sound so terrible, and it kept sounding terrible. And right now, it sounds terrible. So I have really been thinking about what to do about that, and getting really hung up on what I wanted the Enclosure to look like. And it was one of those things where it was just kind of a wall. I was like, this thing doesn't sound good. Not pleased with that. Did I just hear vocals? Did I hear vocals? There are no vocals allowed on this channel. So anyway. Well, okay. I want to talk about this for a minute. Talk about, like, sometimes when you work on a project, you hit a wall, and that's normal. And then sometimes you have to power through that wall because you just have to, because it's a job or something. Or sometimes you, like, get distracted, move on to other things, like I did with this. And then sometimes when you come back, you have a new perspective. Like, you come back and you have like new ideas or new goals, new solutions, whatever. And the problem isn't a problem anymore. But in coming back to this, the problem was still a problem. It was still annoying, and I'm still not pleased with it. And I'm still not entirely pleased with it. But after thinking about it a lot, last night, I think I decided what I want to do with kind of like the object side of this project. Because this is a two-part project. There's kind of a software and tech side of it, and then there is which is basically done, kind of, and then there is separately sort of the let's make an object side of it. And you know, the thing that had been in my mind was something like a little radio or something that had some kind of maybe like little doodad, some kind of fancy indicator on the front of it, and some kind of, I don't remember how I did this. I feel like I had some strategy for this, but who knows now. Anyway, some kind of fun little indicator on the front, and some kind of embedded audio something or other. And I just was having a hard time kind of honing in on, this is crooked, the look that I wanted, and again, having a lot of trouble with the sound that I wanted. And so, yeah, was just kind of stuck on it. And I had tons of reference, like visual reference for things that looked cool, but they were like didn't really tie to the functionality. And if I made a decision one, that I was just going to not try to handle the audio internally because it was too obnoxious, which is a decision. And then two, well, if I didn't handle the audio internally, then like what even was this object anymore? It was Raspberry Pi that maybe had like some LED indicator. And so then the Enclosure became less relevant because it doesn't really do very much. And then so suddenly I was like, it was getting like, oh, I'm just going to design like a overly complicated Raspberry Pi case. And that didn't seem good. So what I think I have decided on, at least for now, or at least it's the thing I'm going to pursue for the moment, and we'll see how that goes, is to take this Launch Key Mini, this cute little fellow, cute little friend, and build a hat for it. And that ties into some other ideas I've had for a long time about taking existing kind of unattractive, unappealing electronics. Not that this is terrible, but it's more black plastic. And dressing them up a little. So what I was thinking about, just as a starting point, again, just kind of like brainstorming, is building kind of a box sort of that goes on the top of this. And I don't know 100% what that looks like. I have some thoughts on what it might look like, in terms of how it sits, like how it would affix to the side and all of that kind of thing. And are there 3D printed brackets, or what does that look like? So I was thinking about some of these things. The geometry of this object is a little bit annoying just because it has lots of kind of strange tapers and stuff, but I think we could still approach something reasonable. I think. I don't know fully, but optimistic. But yeah, just to build. Helio, how's it going? So build some kind of hat is the idea here. And I don't know how much of an enclosure it is. I don't know exactly what it looks like. Part of that is going to be contingent on what I have a speaker on the way. So basically it'll be some power supply, like a little USB power bank. It'll be some little USB speaker. And I want all that enclosed in whatever we build. It will be a Raspberry Pi, maybe even a really old one. And then possibly some front panel kinds of something, visual indicators, something, you know? So just in thinking about that and thinking about where to start on it, as just a way, sometimes you just have to start with something to get some forward momentum when you're kind of stuck on a project. So I was going to start just lightly toying with making a very bad CAD model of this. It's not like we need a detailed CAD model. And then just kind of looking at what it might look like to add some stuff to it. So I don't really know exactly where I think the best place to start modeling this is. Again, the upper portion of it appears to just be a rectangular box. So that is easy. The lower portion of it is a little more obnoxious. Again, just because of the kind of inconsistencies in the way the upper rectangle interfaces with the lower parallelogram, one might say. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be good CAD practice to try to figure that out. Helio, what's going on? We need this guy. So what I was thinking is, yeah, we're just going to start drawing this component, and then we can start thinking about how to add stuff to it. And I am not a CAD artist. It's one of the many things. How's it going, Mr. Gabs? Yeah, wait, is this is the real Gabs? This isn't just some pretend Gabs. Is this the real Gabs? Did you know that that oh my gosh, how have you been? Did you know that Lo-Fi Girl has lore? That there's a Lo-Fi Girl like fell in love with Synthwave Boy, and if you look in Lo-Fi Girl's window, there's out her window, there's another building that has a blue window. And one day, apparently, there was a day that Lo-Fi Girl was not at her desk, and it was because she was out meeting Synthwave Boy. It's a real shocking thing. Let's see. I think even now, if we just go to Lo-Fi Girl and mute this so I don't get in trouble. Let's see. Oh yeah, look back here. That blue window. That's Synthwave Boy's window. Right here. When she looks out the window, she's gazing longingly at Synthwave Boy. Go see what's going on with Synthwave Boy. Here's Synthwave Boy. This is Lo-Fi Girl's window over here. I know, it's a shock. And apparently they, I think the people behind Lo-Fi Girl made a music video in which she's out in the world. Yeah. she's out in the world, like going to meet. Oh, here's Lo-Fi Girl's backstory. Maybe it's all here. Lo-Fi Girl will pass her exams. Like, look at it. There's so much lore here. It is. It's very sweet. Is she in Christmas mode now? Oops. What's she shopping for? Some kind of rolls? Anyway, that's all very important. It is funny. I do like that. I do like that. There was some lore behind. I like it when there's lore where lore doesn't belong. So we're gonna try to do some stuff. We're gonna start just by so Mr. Gabbs, the thing I was just talking about is the just one of the projects I abandoned earlier this year when I got caught up in baseball world. That is this like home automation system with where I can play music to control things, and the prototype was working well, and I was indecisive on what the actual look would be, but I think I know now. I think I know what it is. Maybe. Wait, does Just Dance have lore now? I just bought Just Dance 2024. I didn't know Just Dance had lore. There's lore beyond Ubisoft ruining the online service? So 33 centimeters by that's not right. Anyway, that's wrong. It's supposed to be in millimeters. 330 centimeters by 172 millimeters. What? Okay. Well, I had not played Just Dance for a few years. Just Dance is still fun. There's something with Just Dance 2024 camera controller. I meant to look that up. That you can like use your phone as the camera controller. So the problem is all of my skill with Just Dance just relies on how bad the Wiimote is, because its tracking is not very good. But I've learned over the years to work with that, to work with the poor tracking. It's funny that they call these maps. Wait, Just Dance songs are called maps? So only some? Interesting. I would be interested in trying that. I think this, I don't know if it's a second life. This one's still enjoying its first life. I mean, I don't use it tremendously, and honestly, it's a thing I use more to like to just have knobs and dials that I can do whatever I want with, or a bunch of buttons. It ends up just being a convenient way to trigger a lot of things. But in this case, it will be vaguely musical. Oh, you did? I was working on what is it? There's some what was the other one called? Oh, Dance Central, right? That was the one that was sort of the competitor in the Kinect era. But I think it's back as a VR app now. Or maybe it's dead now because Epic bought Harmonix. who I don't even know. It's hard to keep up with harmonics. Is that true? Is there not a Dance Central VR? Yeah, there is. It is on Quest. But I think it was released... It says it supports Quest 3, but maybe that's just by accident. When was the last time the software... Oh, yeah, release date is 2019. So this has not been updated since May 21st, 2019, probably. Unless some team at Harmonix is still working on it. I doubt it. They're not allowed to do anything anymore, right? They just have to work on Fortnite dances. And who else did Epic ruin recently? Oh yeah, Bandcamp. Epic bought Bandcamp and then like sold it to some whatever, like Songtrade or something, some music licensing company. Oh, Epic, why are you so bad? Okay, so this, yeah, so the idea is we're gonna take this, we're gonna build our own little electronics hat on it, and then we will be able to walk around and initially like turn the lights on and off, but I have lots of absurd plans, like getting a solenoid valve for a bidet, and then I can play waterfalls to turn the bidet on and off. It's up for debate whether I want to use TLC's waterfalls or Paul McCartney's waterfalls, upon which TLC's waterfalls is based. Don't know. Yeah, Epic. Epic sucks. I don't know what to say. But I had to give them money because I had to play Alan Wake 2. Had to. So I need a parallelogram. I don't really know the best way to... I guess I could do a separate sketch, but that doesn't really seem necessary, I guess. I guess this is centered... Whoa, tomato to the face. Wait, does Weird Al have a waterfalls as well? Is that true? Oh, phony calls, of course. How could I forget? It's been 10 years since that one album, Mandatory Fun, came out, I think. Is that the album it's on? Mandatory Fun, Weird Al. His 14th album. The Royals song, is that on here? Yes. Foil, the aluminum foil song is so good. This song, the video is so good. The song is so good. It takes such a tremendously great turn. I guess what I'm saying is I still regularly listen to Weird Al and watch that video because it's so masterpiece. It's masterful. Okay, so we want, presumably this thing is just going to be centered. So let's do this. I don't really know the best way to draw a parallelogram. Do you start with a square? Or do you start with two lines and then just dimension the top and the bottom and the height? That's probably the thing that you do, right? Like, do you do something like this and then dimension? Can you do point to point dimensions? Yeah. So we probably need to do something like this. And then the height is just, oops, the height will just be the height. That's my assumption. Oh, I didn't realize this. The Weird Al, yes, the Weird Al movie. I didn't realize it was based on a Funny or Die sketch from 10 years ago. And it's the same director. So some director who made like a 10-minute Funny or Die sketch, whatever, 5-minute Funny or Die sketch, managed to make it into a movie. It's almost exactly 10 years ago. Oh, it just is 10 years ago. But it was, Breaking Bad guy. What's his name? Aaron Paul. Patton Oswalt as Dr. Demento in this. So you could watch the full movie, or you could just watch this 2.5-minute sketch. It's Daniel Radcliffe in the full movie version, but it's just a full movie version of this 2.5-minute sketch. So my assumption is that they took a 2.5 minute joke and stretched it out to a 90-minute movie, so you could probably just watch the 2.5 minute joke. Um, but hey, it's fair. I mean, it's pretty close actually. I think the sketch and the trailer, the original sketch and the trailer for the new movie are very similar. Okay, so it's not going to be the most accurately dimensioned thing of all time, but I don't think it matters that much. So that looks like 390 millimeters on the short side. See, that's annoying though. I want it to grow from the middle. I don't really know how to do that. You can have a thing where you have like a, what's the way to do that? Where you can like create, I mean, you could do this and have a construction line. No, a center line. Is that what I want? And then have this. I don't know how to do this. Well, we would want the midpoint of this constrained to that. So now can I do 390? Incredible. We did it. Oh, I didn't know that. Wait. Baby Driver was a music video. I do feel like there's, so I feel like my, like, one of the hallmarks of the period in which I came of age was there was this period, late 90s, early 2000s, where a whole bunch of music video directors graduated to film directors, like Michel Gondry and Spike Jonze, and who's the other one? There's another big one. The other one. Who's the other one? Oh my gosh. There's even a box set of their music video. Gosh, who is it? Let's see. Who did the Bjork robot music video? The All is Full of Love. Who directed that? Chris Cunningham, of course, Chris Cunningham. So there was even a box set of that was like, I think it was, there was like Chris Cunningham boxed set. This thing. Yeah, it was Spike Jonze, Chris Cunningham, and Michel Gondry. And it was cool. Yeah, I don't know what happened to any of these people. Oh, do you? That's awesome. I really liked that. It's been a million years since I've watched any of those videos. I feel like actually the that White Stripes video, those fell in love with a girl, right? Yeah, that's Michel Gondry. I feel like it's Michel Gondry's fault that the White Stripes got popular. It's not exactly fair. I don't dislike the White Stripes, but I feel like a huge portion of what led to the popularity of all of the early mid 2000s the bands was because of the music video for Fell in Love with a Girl was just so good that it made a lot of people like the White Stripes who might not have liked them otherwise. Yeah, I'm not anti-Jack White. In fact, I'm extremely pro-Jack White for the album he did with Loretta Lynn, which is weirdly seems to be hard to find now. Which is the Portland, Oregon album. So freaking good. But it weirdly seems to like not be on streaming services. I don't know why. Maybe it's some kind of, I don't know. Loretta passed. I think she passed away last year. This is a banger of an album. So good. And it's so funny to have Loretta Lynn, who's like, I don't know, how old was she at the time? Like 80, singing with Jack White, who was like, I don't know, 25. I don't even know actually. Those are made up numbers, but it's probably not too far off. But it's great. It's a great album. I haven't heard his latest. I feel like 2023 may be like the my worst year of all time for finding new music. It's been on a steep decline for a few decades, but oh wait, that was wrong. That number was not the right number because it started at 10 centimeters. So the long side is, I don't know. The long side, no, it does seem to be 390. Never mind. I take it back. Seems fine. And the short side is a different number, also known as also known as call it 290. Call it 290. I don't know. I'm gonna switch these actually. 390. Oh no, that one's wrong. 290. Did I not get the constraint right here? Probably. Midpoint here. Maybe that's not right. Maybe they have to be coincident. No, I do want it to be a midpoint. How do I do that? Oh gosh. You were 290. You're 390. But that's going to be... That's dumb. Well, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to do it. Oh no, no. Yeah, I want the exact opposite of that. I want this. I want you. Okay, this is going pretty well. Those are parallel. I don't remember what this constraint means. That's horizontal. How do I center this line? Also, that's not even in the middle, so that's cool. There's some way to do to make an axis. How do you do that? I don't remember how to do that. Oh, I appreciate that, Gabs. Have a lovely night and Merry Christmas to you. Miley and Dolly. Isn't Dolly Parton Miley's godmother or something? Let's see. So there is a way. Isn't there a way to insert a... How do you do that? There's a way to like add an axis reference, I believe. What? Am I just wrong about this? Can I do that? Can I project? Oops. I want to project a whole axis. I don't know how to do that. Intersect. So what's really obnoxious, and maybe I just have this wrong. I don't know. Collinear. Yeah, I thought an alternate way. I mean, maybe I just want construction rather than centerline, but also maybe not. You know, fusion's hard. Like, I don't want this to move. Well, that is not really what I wanted. Maybe like go back in time to here when I was still symmetrical. Was I though? I don't think it was. I'm not symmetrical. Is that my whole problem here? What's the right way to do this? This is where I'm extra bad at fusion. Maybe that was my whole problem. I was just starting this all wrong. I mean, the other idea, I guess, is that I could do the two lines independently, but or, well, okay, I am a little curious. Is it possible to do something like this and then dimension only like point to point here? Fusion dimension from center. Like, I just wanted to grow a symmetry constraint. So is that my problem? Is it like a thing where I'm just not displaying the center line or something and it should be visible? Is that my problem? Oh, right. Origin. That's my problem. Is that my whole entire problem? It's possible. Okay. Maybe that's the thing I was missing before. Was so now yeah, maybe this is what I want. Except that I seem to have dimensioned, oh boy. How can I use my symmetry constraint without it? Do I need to put the symmetry constraint on it after? Why is this true? Oh, maybe I'm in trouble now because this is a rectangle. Oh yeah. Okay, because those have vertical, and that is not what I want. Okay, but let's go back to the symmetry constraint. So I think it's actually this constraint that was getting us. Maybe. Okay. 290. Well, 390 is definitely wrong. So what have I done? Because the entire thing is 330, so I've done something cool. So from 10 to so that is something like $490. Well, now I'm extra confused. What? Oh, no. It's not 390. It's 309. On this side. Oops. That doesn't look good. Need a height here, whatever this is going to be. I don't know. You're 309. And then this, so that's right. And then this side, it's not really the ideal looking. Here we are. So that would be 390, 290. Yeah, it's more like 289. I don't know how much that matters. Okay, so it's something like this. I don't really know how to center this. Like, what's the appropriate way? What is the appropriate way to do that? I guess, I mean, we could draw kind of like mid lines. Oh yeah, what's the height? Would also be useful information. $241, $242, about $142. So what is the appropriate way to center something like this inside of something like this? I guess we could make it symmetrical. Yeah, you could do, assuming it really is. Yeah. feel like I have a bunch of symmetry lines that I don't really need anymore. Why we lost our... Oh, because did I accidentally get rid of the vertical constraints on these? Huh. I don't know what I have done. So what do we have? We had like 330 by 172. I sort of just want to redraw that. Wrong. Okay, so I think this is kind of sort of the thing, although this was not supposed to be a construction line. Well, no. Come on, friends. So I think basically this is the footprint. I just like it's hurting my head a little bit to think about how we create this shape. Especially since it's at kind of a different height. Oh boy. I mean, I guess we could figure out the hypotenuse of that angle. Maybe somebody already did a CAD model of this. So I think that's the right footprint, but yeah, how do we get the sort of the loft of this where we need it? I'm a little bit at a loss how to do that. Because, I mean, I guess I could also imagine applying individual bevels to the lines on this, like make it flat and then put bevels, but that doesn't really seem like the way to do this. It seems like there's got to be some way to have these two profiles and how... an angle. What is the way to do that? So just a few, like, couple ideas, I guess. Like, you could think of a loft. We would normally think of an extrude, but this is kind of a funny one. I mean, maybe there really is some very fancy or some like fancier kind of extrude, because we need... We want to be able to extrude this, but then kind of bevel it such that it has the right such that it has an angle which would be different on the different surfaces. Like, you can imagine something like this, but that's not adequate. Oops. Because what we're dealing with is not symmetrical. sweep or create a construction plane. I don't really feel like a sweep. I mean, actually, you almost could. I don't know. Is loft the thing we really want? We'd have to be able to draw the two planes in space like exactly where they need to be, which seems difficult. Angle a component in two directions. I mean, I guess you could do it with two sketch planes. The draft command. I feel like that's not really what I want. I mean, the draft almost sounds like the thing that I want. So let's just imagine, ignore the little inside friend for a moment. So the whole direction. But then what? I mean, obviously I don't know what I'm doing, which I'm sure is very exciting to watch. Put on one side of a fixed plane. Maybe I just don't quite understand. For skew faces, use the draft feature. Cool. So how do you do that? I don't really know if that's exactly what I want. I don't quite know how to get. But how do you? Okay. But that sort of seems like not quite Interesting. Okay. Like, I feel like we're sort of approaching. Just don't know what. So the face I want to modify is you? I feel like this is just, shoot, I'm gonna quit hitting undo. I mean, that is almost a way. It's pretty obnoxious because I'm. Okay. I'm just not. I'm confused about which face is the face that I'm. I want to modify. Like this almost. It's. I feel like this almost is doing what I want. Almost. Like if we could do this and get it. So for example, if we could. I don't know what the angle is, and maybe we'll try to figure that out in a minute. But if we just did this and then went and did a chamfer on. Maybe that's how this is designed. I don't know. Like symmetrical chamfers there. And then it's going to be weird because there's going to be different chamfer sizes, but we'll just then add another chamfer here. Why can't I chamfer that edge? Maybe I need it. Maybe it's an order of operations thing. So I can imagine chamfering this little guy and then chamfering this guy and then chamfering these guys after that. You know, like this almost kind of sort of very slightly starts to get at what I want, although these angles are wrong, and I guess that's what's weird about this is like the chamfer is on the sides is not uniform. But maybe that's actually where I want the draft angle. Gosh, that gets kind of complicated. Okay, but I think we're like slightly sort of honing in here. I just don't really have my mind wrapped around. So the pull direction, this face, and that's the pull direction. So it's almost like there's a hinge. Maybe does pull direction have to be a face? Like if I do this, that's the hinge, and then this is going to tilt around that hinge, which is kind of nice. Because then I can just bump that up by some number of degrees, which is cool. That's a cool thing. what would be the easiest way to determine that angle? I don't know if this is going to be enough to... Oops. That's totally backwards. Like if it's something like this, it's only looks to be something like 3 degrees. Maybe it would actually be better to hold this in the opposite way, like this. Yeah. Actually only looks like 2 degrees. So a 2-degree angle seems like all that's going on back there. And then to try to determine that height would be a challenge. How could you determine that height? Knowing this height, I mean, it's something like 6 millimeters. So this extrude would be something like just 6 millimeters, very, very slight. So it's something like this, and then the upper box is just extruded off of this in its own direction. Does that actually work right, though? Is it actually extruding in the direction that I want it to extrude? I think it is. And then this would be a new body. That look correct? Yeah. Kind of. Sort of. It weirdly needs to put it on the front. It almost looks like it does extrude straight up, but on the back it does tilt forward. Maybe that's not true. So then we would need a thickness for this, which is going to be something like, I don't know, 19 millimeters. So something like that. But then what do we do about our weird angle problem? Because we want to be able to kind of like well, we do it like this, where we pick all these faces around the perimeter. But then what is our pull direction? Here? That's almost what I want. Can I hide this other body? I think I want almost that, but from the other side, where the pull direction is here. Hey, look at that. But what is that angle? What is that angle? Like, the 60 degrees is... I mean, that almost looks right. But where's the 60? Or is it all 60? I guess it... And it's just... So that looks like 28. And that looks like... No, these look like they're different angles. That looks 25. It's very confusing. But relative to what? $28. They annoyingly seem less on the other sides. They seem like it's 26. Which is really probably something like 30 minus 26. Sorry, 90 minus 26. Oops. Well, call it negative 64. Something like this. Which doesn't quite look right. I mean, it almost looks right. Maybe it's right. I guess I could just print something and see. It feels like those draft angles are not really the same. That seems like 26. To the sides, which is what I would really care about, does seem to be 26. The back seems like it's a different angle, but I'm not sure I care about that. Like the back seems like it's 28. And the front seems like it's some other number that no one knows. 25, 26. That's at 25. So it sort of seems like 26 on the sides, 25 on the... So I don't know that I care that much. But I guess I could do them. I could try to do them independently. Now that I possibly sort of understand what's going on. So what I think is to set the draft angle for the sides, we need to select the pull direction, which is going to be the bottom. No. This side, sorry. Pull direction is going to be here. And then the faces are going to be these two. Let me select you. Curse you. What? Stop it. Select faces. You. Pull direction. You. Angle. Negative 64. What do we think of that? And then the front side, I think we'd need to do another one with whatever I said it was, with the pull direction here, faces here. Nope. Pull direction is here. And then this one is something different. Something else entirely. Maybe it's not. This one seems more like 25. So that would be 65 degrees on this one. And then the back. Well, this is very exciting. We learned how to use draft angles today. I know you're all very excited. And by all of you, I mean nobody, because nobody wants to watch me struggle with fusion, but that's okay. And then the back face here, and then this angle is going to be a number that is something like hard to read. This one is closer to 28. Yeah. Okay. And then this upper body is just a box. So this seems something sort of possibly like the thing we're trying to make. And then kind of the last piece of this is we probably want to have some notion of where the keys are. I'm not going to model the keys, but I think we want just like a sketch on this face. So we want a rectangle that is, where these two lines are on top of each other. Can I do that here? I don't know if I can. Maybe I didn't do this correctly. No, that's on that face. Nope. This sketch. We want it to be symmetrical on the center line. This and this on the center line. And we want the bottom I'm confused here. This, why can't I pick this and this? Is it because that line's not projected or something? Do I need to do that to project that line? And now I can do this line just on top of this line? Why? No, collinear is what I want. I think that's what I wanted. Well, I didn't even need to project that. Not coincident. Collinear. Collinear. Okay, yeah. And then all we need is a width and a height. Width 320, no, 302 millimeters. Actually very close to 301 millimeters, but that is an unattractive number. (301 millimeters) and a height of something like something like 81 millimeters, something like that. And then once we have this, we can extrude it negatively and just like pop it down. We'll just give it a hint of a, because I just want to know where the keys are, basically. Okay, so that kind of gives us, and the reason I went kind of went through pains to get this right is, if we want to try to build some kind of 3D printed bracket that like hugs this, then it needs to be pretty accurate. Now, am I actually going to do that? I don't know. But so the thing I was kind of thinking about, now I kind of want to model the keys, but I also don't want to. So one idea for this object is to build a kind of a profile that like hits the ground and goes up, sort of. So just to sort of brainstorm, that is not what I wanted to do. Something that one could imagine would look something like and I don't know what the dimensions are really going to be, but we'd want to do a better job. But could look something like this, and then just radius the heck out of everything and call it a day, you know? Oops. That's not what I want, because I want these to be 20. Can I not have... Hold, please. How do I do these separately? You, I definitely want to be 10. I mean, it's not definite, but... So I have those all done. And then a more aggressive fillet here and here. Maybe I did actually want to put those on the edges, but who can say now? And then also, shouldn't have really done this in here. I want a new component. Oops. Can I not take this sketch? Just don't want this sketch to be in this component. Also, did I not create a component for this stuff before I started? Oh no. Amateur hour over here. I thought I did. Guess I didn't. whatever this is called. I don't want you to be inside here. Get out of there. This is a debacle now. What I want is these sketches to live in here. What I want, and the bodies to live in here. Okay, that's kind of sort of what I wanted. That sketch is not where I want it, though. I thought I moved this. I'm good at fusion. How come I can't delete this component without deleting other components? Hang on. Okay, back it up a little bit. So from here, I'm trying to salvage, I'm trying to recover from the mess I've made. Create a component. This is a component already, though, right? Was I already fine? Maybe I did already do what I meant to do, and just this component should be a child of this, is what I want. There we go. This okay. You're the body. So the thing I was just imagining, and I don't really know if I like it or not, but would be to then have this on both sides, you know. How do you do a mirror? Mirror this body. Don't join. Dang it. But I need to move this over. Move the body over. Pretty bad at this, I know. So, you know, something like this. Maybe it's not rounded up top, actually. Maybe it's got a flat top. Uh-oh, how do I... Wait, I can't Oh no, I can't unradius. What a travesty. I was just thinking maybe I wanted to just like have a board on the front and a board on the back, and then like a little lip on top. But I don't know, actually. Maybe I'd do like that radius and just have a kind of a captive board between, like a little partial box. If that makes sense. I don't think so. I think I would prefer... Ah, it's a little hard to say. So with this setup, you could imagine it's on my sketches. You could imagine something a little like whatever we would decide, like depends on what we'd want to do with that radius, but say it was something like, that's no good. It'd need to be something like wouldn't be 10 thick though, is it'd be 13 or whatever. No, it wouldn't. It would be something like, yeah, it'd be something like 18 millimeters, actually. If I made it from 3/4. Maybe I wouldn't actually. No. Let's call it 13 for now. For now. And then this would just be, it's so thick. Just doesn't leave very much room in our little house. Especially considering like this probably has to be sort of a box that's open on the back. This needs to be very thin actually. So maybe the thing to do is more like this. Come back. Whatever the base of this is going to be. Why did I do that in both cases here? Why did I make that wrong? You too. So the thing I was just imagining, this is not a very big cubby, given how much stuff we may need to cram in there. So it may need to be a much bigger cubby. This is about 1/2 inch right now. But just to look at it, the thing would be oops. Come back. If we extruded these some amount that I don't know, be something like this, and then I'm thinking we stick just like a a board on the front and a board on the back, kind of. Just so small in there. But and maybe ½ inch is like super overkill. It needs to be sort of structural. Maybe it needs to be taller. Maybe our little hat needs to be more substantial. Okay, I'm going to do this in a truly ridiculous way. This is not how you should do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do something. Oh, shoot. This needed to be rats. That should be new bodies. Okay. What I want to do. Oops. And then call this whatever's the right thing. $6 mil or whatever. And then this is a mess. This is, I will almost certainly regret this. When and if the time comes to sort of actually make this into something, but I'm also trying to, there's two things I want to do that almost have opposite implications. Like I want to get better at doing this, like in terms of like a design for fabrication kind of idea. But in fact, this needs to be way skinnier actually. But also be able to sort of just iterate on design ideas more quickly. And those are two separate goals, really. This should be more like 3 millimeter, both of these, because these are just going to be panels, essentially. And their height is going to need to be different. But I'm going to ignore that for just this moment. Maybe I'm not going to ignore it. Why did it extrude both? Get out of here. Get out of here. Like this one can just be sort of whatever the height of the that guy is, and just close the back. The front panel we may want to come down a little more just to avoid a little lip. So maybe it ends up being 70. Something like this. Although shoot, in both of those cases, we want new body. We want new body. One of these is wrong. It's very broad. It's very wide thing. So this is what we end up with, which is not outrageously bad, I have to say, for just quickly. We didn't account for the rubber feet on the bottom. So there's lots of things we haven't really accounted for, but it could be something like this. We don't have a way to actually affix it to the keyboard, but you could certainly imagine some like 3D printed thing or whatever going in there. The biggest issue, I think, is the thickness of these two pieces. No, actually, those two pieces are okay. The thickness of these two pieces, which is in this sketch. No. What sketch is that? Is it you? It's not. Is it you? Yeah, that these need to be more like 1/4 inch. Which is probably fine. Just to give us some more room in here. I don't really have a sense. It's pretty cute, actually. And that front and back panel will just screw on with some kind of hardware, probably. Some big old metal screws, big old flathead. Sorry, button cap slotted, big machine kind of screws, maybe. Not flat. I mean, I guess we could countersink them, but I think we want like. We want them to be beautiful, like stainless steel. Ooh, look at these. Yeah, this is sort of what I was thinking. Oh, pardon me. Are those panhead? Buttonhead, I think, are the ones that arc. And pan are the ones that... So Philister has that cool side. So pan are like a truncated... But this just calls these round. No, okay. But this says button. Okay. This has like, pan has like a chamfer on it. And button is rounded. So maybe pan and button are used interchangeably. Panhead. But I liked those. I see. So there's just kind of a chamfer there. Truss head. The Philister head. Cool. Binding head. I feel like the Philister head is the coolest head. Is that what I need in my life? Okay, but can you get Philister? Okay, look at that. A Philister head wood screw. Oh, you can indeed. Oh, okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. Like Craig screws are Philister head. Craig screws are nickel or zinc plated though. Well, then maybe you can get stainless ones. But I guess I could also put some kind of threaded insert into the wood. I'll think about that a little bit. And just use machine screws. Okay, anyway, I think that there's something to this. Can you edit materials from here? Let's see, matte black plastic. These are only white ABS. I guess I can just click and change the color. Okay. Opaque, plastic, glossy black, matte black. I think that's what we want. Okay. We want all this stuff to be plastic. And then we want the upper portion. Can't do proper plywood, which is annoying, but that's okay. And birch isn't in here. Also, tragedy. Solid. Let's do maple or something. Ash. Cool if we could properly do... I mean, we could do hardwood on this. Just kidding. I'm using Baltic birch, like always. So probably there and there. This upper portion. Oops. I don't know. You. Then the front and back panel maybe painted. That's all cool paint. Just want painted wood. Wood, solid, painted. Painted mahogany. I just want painted maple, right? For this front panel. This back panel. Cool. We can go to here. Oh, this little cutie. So turn off all our sketches and projections. I don't love the way this paint looks, but that's fine. We're just trying things out here. And then we'd want some kind of speaker grill pattern or something on the front. And maybe some kind of indicator, some kind of fancy logo. I don't know. I don't know, actually. What else would go on the front of this thing? That could just be laser cut painted MDF or something. Maybe the top would be black too. I don't know. Something like this. I mean, this would just, as designed, just be a hat that just sat on top of the thing. You'd have to run some wires in the back. So the back is going to have a bunch of holes for wires. At a minimum, we would need MIDI going from the MIDI going from the Raspberry Pi to the keyboard, and that's all. If we're gonna have the battery pack inside this thing, I think that actually is all. Doesn't seem too outrageously hard. And you have this much room to stick in stuff. I still don't quite know about these upper details. Like these curves are okay. But there's like, yeah, there's like an alternate design where this front panel goes all the way across or something. Like this is a little inelegant, but not uber offensive or anything. I mean, maybe we just don't actually, maybe I did want all of those bullets to be consistent. Wherever that is. Oopsie. Are you telling me that changing this is changing the... Oh no, I don't want to do that. What? What are you doing, Fusion? Is this the center point of the radius or something? How do I select? I can't select it. That's annoying. Just draw this again because I don't know how to fix it really. Oops. A little better. And then on front of this is some kind of fancy grill with something behind it, I guess. I don't know. What's the right way to do that? I wonder. If you were me, if I wanted like to design a pattern to go here, what would be the way to do that? Like, especially if I wanted to like bring it in as a DXF or something from Illustrator, where it might be a little easier for me to draw something design-ish? Or is that coward's talk? Just thinking about it. Like if I went to the sketch here. What is the right way to do that? If I wanted to draw a thing. So, okay. we could see that this is 330 by 70. Is it good to do that? Excuse me, in Illustrator? Switch here because I might have work open in Illustrator. And then I don't have a job anymore, which is incredible. A bit. Illustrator's still opening. Feeling better about this approach. I mean, at least it's feeling more like a thing that I'm like, okay, we're like honing in on something that seems pretty straightforward to fabricate. What did I say those dimensions were? 330 millimeters by 70 millimeters. What I said? I don't know. Okay. I think that's what I said. 330 by 70. So we go over here. So what I was just thinking about is like a way so just, you know, just spitballing here. Oh, Illustrator, you're the worst. Man, I don't even know why I'm in Illustrator because I hate Illustrator, but it feels a little easier to do like a drawing here. So or easier for me. So, I mean, I certainly could have done that a lot of other ways, but okay. Here we are. And then what? Just delete every other one? My spacing actually going to work out? It was 330. I'm feeling it's not going to work out. Well, that's okay. Have another plan. It did work out. Okay, so then the idea is just that we need to truncate those outer ones. Wait, did I not do that correctly? I didn't. Oh no. Well, they're just too short. Why can't I move this? I think that's what I want. Nope. And then this one would technically be gone. This one would be gone. So we really just have to do a little truncation at the edges. Which we do a few different ways. So first let's don't have any borders here, so we're not weirdly inexact. So surely better ways to do this, but of course nothing works right. Pathfinder, why? That's not what I want. I want to use you to cut you. Is that not? Why would you do that? That's what we want. Oh boy. Well, sort of. Okay, whatever. And then over here. That was maybe a little closer to what I wanted. Oops. So we get this, which is probably way too much, but, and then what I was thinking at least is then, why are you too dumb to corner radius on these? Why don't you radius all corners, buddy? Why can't you do that on all of these? Why are you so dumb? I guess I could have done this with strokes as well, but why, like, we all have corner rounding. Do I have to select them one at a time? Is it all going to disappear at some point? Yes. Why did it all disappear at some point? What's wrong with this one? I'm just curious. I feel like stuff like this, like patterny kinds of things, are not the greatest. Like, can it just not do beyond a certain point? Coming Illustrator was a mistake. Something like that. That's probably way too much. But I feel like these kind of things aren't as easy in just aren't as easy in Fusion as you would want them to be. Yeah, no? I also probably really don't want the whole thing. What's your problem? How do I want to do this? Just arbitrarily delete a bunch from the middle and call this the number. I don't know. Do I even like this? I don't know. Now that I've done it, who can say whether I like it or not? I think of what would be behind it. It was just black, or even like trying to have some colored mesh or something like that. If it's black, it's probably too much. But if I try to do insert a DXF, does that go in my sketch? I'm almost certainly not going to like this, but why is it huge? Is this because I seem to remember something about this? It's because Illustrator's worthless and can't even do export DXF properly. That is ringing a bell for sure. I'm trying to remember if I want it in a sketch or not. Millimeters equal movement. Why is it the wrong size and the wrong everything? Where has it gone? Why is this true? Did I do something wrong? Set this to millimeters. Do units need to be set to meters or something? One millimeter equals 1 unit. That seems right. Okay, it's just in the wrong place. Why is that? Why is that? Oh yeah, well, we can't do that anyway. Shoot. So, well, kind of ignored the fact that we had the silly asymmetrical thing going on. But let's just ignore that for just a minute. Just do this. Just to try it on for size. It feels like there should be some like pattern gen. I mean, I know you can do certain kinds of patterns, but we're stuff where you need to do this and you need to like truncate a pattern at an edge and things like that. I just don't know of an easy way to do that in 360. You know, like I've seen a billion times. There's so many examples of people doing hex-based stuff, but I mean, this is sort of what I want. I've tried to do stuff like this with lots of like repetition of a grid pattern or whatever, and Fusion gets upset at me. There has to be a way that people do this. I mean, short of just, I guess you can just draw it, but. Look at this, that's cute. How do you do this? Kind of like that, actually. Like almost sort of a bricky kind of pattern. Still has, what is actually weird? Is this Morse code or something? It's a weird selection of shorts and longs in there. What is Shaper Hub? Could do some crazy pattern. Do whatever I want. I did kind of like the dashy lines. I want to see like vintage synthesizers probably have cool fan vents. But how are you going to find that? Anyway, something in this realm. It's much too thick. You definitely want something more delicate than this, but you can kind of see. I mean, we could try. Oops. How do you... Okay, sorry. What I want to do is go into this sketch. Where is that sketch? Not where I want it. It's here. How do you... I just want to scale the whole thing, but I don't know how to... I just want to select these. Oops. Whoop. But that is selecting stuff that isn't in this sketch, which is pretty weird. Because really, actually, that sketch, those operations really should be, not where I want them, should be in here. But it may be too late to do that. I don't understand why I can still see anything. What am I seeing? Something in here. Unclear. Why doesn't it select everything though? You know? Why? I just wondered about scaling this in the center. I don't actually know how to do that. I want to scale it based on the seems unhappy. I mean, I can rotate. And I can move. But I don't think I can scale. I think that's actually a thing. Like, I think I can place it and scale it when placing, but otherwise I think I can't. Which is cool. I didn't really mean to do this for 2 hours, but can you not scale this here? Be a little obnoxious. You could just refresh that. Oh no, but I scaled it, so now it's going to be like... Why is this now like this? Whatever. That doesn't look smaller, does it? What was the height? 30 by 70. It doesn't seem like it actually changed. Export this, do this, save everything, insert a DXF on this plane. Find the DXF file. Okay. So really doesn't seem correct. But it's also kind of hard to see. I don't know. I mean, that is the thing that if I was going to do it in the laser cutter, there'd be really no reason to even bring it into Fusion. It would just be like do the DXF. Yeah, just extrude it as is for the object if I wanted to see it in Fusion, but I don't need to manufacture it from Fusion, I guess. The only thing I'd really need to cut on the CNC here are these side pieces, I guess, but the obviously the flat portions don't need any of that. Yeah, and the front and back could just be laser cut. Maybe there's some 3D printing. I don't know. So, okay, anyway, I kind of like where this is headed. I've lost the keyboard. There it is. There it is. How do I hide the origin here? This? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what the vent looks like, but that's relatively low stakes. So at the simplest version of this, like the laziest, simplest possible version, which is a possibility, is inside this doodad, there's this little speaker I bought, which I can't remember how big it is, but I think it'll fit in here no problem and be behind kind of where the vent is. There's a Raspberry Pi, which is, it's a small object, so that can be a small object, and it will be plugged into the speaker via USB, and it will be plugged into the MIDI keyboard via USB, and it will be plugged into the power supply via USB-C. So all of that is pretty easy peasy, right? So that is a pretty simple fabrication project. Now, what is missing is the critical element of how do we affix these objects together? And the answer is I don't know. I have some thoughts, but I don't really know. Because yeah, I'm just not sure, actually. I could think of a few ideas where we 3D print some kind of something. But that is of relatively a relatively minor concern. Um, and then the other piece is if I want to do something with like an indicator light or something or whatever. And then that was the thing I was a little hung up on. I definitely had some ideas. I mean, obviously an indicator light, if it's just a light, is not that hard. But maybe we want a big cool power switch on it. I mean, I guess like a minimal, it'd be kind of cool to have a power switch and a power light would be the very minimum kind of thing. What would be cooler is, I think, what I was kind of imagining for this guy is as you're entering notes, it will sort of step along. And I think this would be controlled by a microcontroller with MIDI sysx or something, where you could just say something. You could say something. That would be its own little project, but kind of sort of an interesting project. And then it would just be plugged into the Pi as another MIDI thing. And then the software configuration would let you say, like, on success, send this thing to this port or something like that. I don't know. That's definitely some more software work that needs some brainstorming. But I think it could be kind of cool. Could also be that this thing is in the middle. Excuse me. That doesn't work very well with where the speaker. What's going on with the speaker? Speaker could be off to one side or something. I don't know what to do about that. I really don't. Unless this was something very silly, like a little hat, or like this was on the top or something inside some little enclosure instead of on the front. Almost like a little weird antenna or something. Could be cute. Could be cute. Or it's some symmetrical kind of layout where one side is the power switch and this is on the other side. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. But the thing that's sort of nice about this approach is that the front face panel being so easily swappable makes that a thing that it could be like a V2 kind of thing without having to rework the whole dude, you know? If it's just like laser cut a new front panel. Then I could live with it. I think. I think you do want some kind of indicator. I think that is a thing that feels pretty important. Is radial the best? I do have other kinds. Well, okay. Actually, that's not an invalid question. There's something nice about the radial. But also, I just thought of something else I want to do for this. This feature wants to be a separate layer, I think. Like this wants to be like a different color or something that's popped on top of this, probably. Also laser cut. Anyway, the thing I was just thinking, where is the thing I was just thinking? Oh. Yeah, I have a couple other, I have various other formats of like neopixely, just like little lines and things, but also, I also of course have 7 billion, like everyone else on the Earth. I have 7 billion RGB LEDs if I wanted to put those somewhere. I kind of like this though. Put one on both sides for symmetry. Let's just do one more thing. I don't know the best way to do it, but this is very hard to see. That's exactly what I did not want to happen. Not 5 meters. Oh. See a tomato out of the corner of my eye? It's possible. Just thinking about wanting, oops, is that correct? Dang it. You, to you. Why would that be true? Anyway, I don't know. Oops. I'm back. Anyway, something like this. Give it a little bit of dimension, and then make it some other color paint. Cool. Probably not really that color, but you know, something like that. Did I lose my... No, okay. It's fine. Why does that look insane? Something looks weird about that. Something about that paint color is strange. Oh, Halloween moon crab. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you like it. Oh no, right? Did my stream mess up right when you came? Is Heat working right now? It sort of seems like it's not. I'm gonna refresh here. Hopefully I don't lose anything in chat. Nobody's talking to me today. This is what happens when I stop streaming Sudoku. Um, uh-oh, is Heat broken right now? That would be sad. No, there it is. Okay. It's having extreme heat latency. Why is... Oh no. If only you hadn't said anything, then I wouldn't know. Seems very laggy. Refresh when it becomes active. Refresh cache. Okay. I think we're okay. No, it's not your fault. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. It definitely is overdue for some work. I'm waiting for Cloudflare to release some new features so I can make it fancier, but the feature I'm waiting on has been in beta for like a year. Okay. I mean the like materiality of this sort of sucks, but I think there's something to it. I should have just made these plastic or something. Like a matte yellow and a matte green. And then we'll just make the matte green more of a me color. But the lighting is not great. There's a way to deal with that. It's just what HDR you're using, I think. Cool light, grid light, soft light, warm light, dry lake bed. When this project's done, we're going to take it out and just put it in a dry lake bed. So I am picking up on okay, gosh. I'm getting back into streaming. So I didn't stream much of the year because I had contract jobs that just kept me so busy. And I had a lot of projects I was working on early in the year that I just lost the thread on, which is a bummer because I want to make things. So I've been trying to get back into streaming and picking up some projects that I had left off 1,000 years ago, earlier this year. And one of them, which is the thing that I like, is it's kind of like a home control system that is music based. So the idea is that you can play, for example, the first one I did was if you play the beginning of Sound of Silence and just say, "Hello, darkness, my old friend," all the lights will turn off. And then I want to do a lot of other very silly ones, like if you play Waterfalls, it'll turn on the bidet. If you play You Spin Me Right Round, it'll turn on the blender, whatever. Just have basically a home automation setup that is all music based is the idea. But one of the things I really got hung up on was the enclosure. And so I was just sort of making myself, I thought there was a way to rotate this skybox. Is that not true? Because I want to be able to rotate the skybox. It's weird shadows in the corner that don't look good. So anyway, initially I was like making an object that was its own kind of object. And I just wasn't very pleased with it. And then I decided, well, I'm just going to make a hat for the keyboard. So I'm just designing essentially a hat that will sit on the top of the keyboard and be ridiculous. And I was just trying to decide how complicated to make it. Oh no, did I break the stream by talking? Oh, thanks. I'm glad you think it's neat. Okay, I feel like rendering this is... Hopefully you can still hear me. Hopefully it's not affecting the audio. I can't remember which renderer I use. I think I use like this, the encoder. I think I use like the CPU encoder for the video stream and the GPU encoder for the thing that gets written to disk or something, one way or the other. Okay, I'm glad you can hear. Anywho, yeah, so I just was kind of running through a very simple hat to put on this thing. So, and it will be very, very simple. As it stands, it's just 2 pieces of wood cut on the CNC router. That's probably enough, right? Let me stop this. I don't know how to stop. Oh no, I accidentally started it. Oh no. It's essentially just these 2 end pieces that get cut on the CNC router. There's 2 boards that are just cut on the table saw, and then front and back panels that are cut on the laser cutter. That's the idea anyway. That stuff's probably made of MDF. Maybe this piece is painted as well. Maybe. Would that look good or bad? If I did that, is that better? That might be better. I don't know. Undecided. I'm glad you like it. How's your evening going? Or your day? I don't know where you are in the world. I shouldn't assume that it's evening for you. The thing I was just kind of toying with mentally. So this is definitely a baseline. The key unsolved problem is some dimensions, which whatever, we'll figure that out later. But is how we affix this to this object. Ooh, cool. There is a poll example, I think. I mean, there's, some people just use it where it's just straight up, you put a heat map of 2 things on screen. There is also a like left-right poll in there somewhere. Maybe. Vote? Yeah. Where there's like a certain amount of time and then everyone in chat gets 1 vote. And when you click on one side or the other, at the end of the time, it sums it up. So this example is also on the GitHub if you wanted to take it and modify it. There's also one just called something called marker. I don't know. Called something markers, where everybody in chat just gets 1 little marker. Versus the heat map where it is just blobs. You can certainly use the heat map, but markers means each individual person only gets 1 vote, and then vote is specifically, we'll tally it at the end of a certain number of seconds. But hey, should do it feels right. Yeah, that works. There's a I think well, yeah, whatever. You seem like you know what you're doing. You're going to figure it out. I think there is in the sequencer, there's like a democracy thing where there's just like buttons, and the button that gets clicked the most. Maybe I didn't put that in that version, but it's a thing I've done before where basically you just, have some window of time and some number of kind of like hot spots. Well, that sounds fun. Which Mario Kart? A Switch Mario Kart or some older? If it was an older one, you're using an emulator, you could probably plug heat into the emulator in some insane way. Okay, so the thing so solutions are needed for how to affix this object to this object. Well, I have faith in you. You're going to be the #1 Mario Kart streamer in the universe, for sure. How do we affix these 2 objects? Something we could do that actually might be kind of cool? I hadn't really considered this until just now. But one idea would be, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. One idea would be that this thing has a bottom. And then we don't have to worry about some fancy way of affixing it. It basically just sits on the bottom. That would be a way a person could do this. It's more material, but so what would that look like? We would need to go back to our, not you. We would go back to, not you, go back to you. And we would say, we get rid of these radii. And we would basically do this, and set this height to some number that was something like 13 millimeters or something like that. That would be fine. And then we would just do this. And then we would do yeah. Well, I hadn't even intended to do that, but maybe we do that. No, we don't. What have I done? I think we do this, and we do extents in both directions, make this symmetrical, and then when we do the extrusion of this, nope, extrusion of this, nope, extrusion of this, yep, we also do this. Yeah, how about that? That's the way to do it. I think that's the way to do it. We could close the whole back if we wanted. No, we can't. We gotta have somewhere to put the wires. Well, that's a minor annoyance. I mean, we could probably figure that out. Dylan's Maritime Disaster. How's it going? Oh, awesome. Fusion 360, which I'm still relatively new at. I've been using it for a couple of years, kind of slowly getting into it. It's pretty good. I like it. I use it for... Now I have as of this year, I just got my Bamboos, and I have a nice 3D printer, nicer than this one. I have a laser cutter that I co-bought with a friend with the shop, and a CNC router. So I've been doing a fair amount of Fusion design stuff there. And then I've switched to using it for my PCB design as well. But I've barely gotten to use any of it this year because all of my contract work this year basically was VR and AR stuff. So, you know what we could do? Gosh, do we want to? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna hold that thought for a second. Let's just say that we did this. And then on this dumb thing, Dylan's gonna look at my file and hurt my feelings because it's a mess. Dylan, I'm doing the best that I can. It would be okay. This is the very simple version of this idea, is that this is just basically a little shelf that this little keyboard sits in. And it's pretty simple. But you could easily start... I don't like this. This radius is too close to there, but let's ignore that for a second. You could easily start to imagine one could easily start to imagine some kind of little wrapper that came up on the front. Ooh, I have to run soon. Some little something that came on the front just to sort of dress the enclosure even more. I think we do want to bring it further forward though, because that, like, this radius with this is, nobody likes that. I think also this could be less, that particular fillet could be less fillety. Oh my gosh, I don't know where I am in this file. Like this particular radius, which who knows? Just make that more gentle, and maybe that would be less offensive. I don't know. I don't know. Where'd you get auto-modded? Yeah, I just got this bamboo a couple weeks ago. I'm very impressed with it. Oh, it's so loud. I don't know, Dylan, but Dylan's been saying a lot of stuff behind your back. Halloween moon crab. I don't want to, I hate to be the one to tell you. I'm kidding. Dylan would never do that. Dylan would literally never do that. I don't know about these choices I just made. I think there's another version of this where this comes down on the front a little bit. I think that's what it does. That's what it does. Is that what it does? But then it's got to go flat. That's where it gets a little annoying. Like, the thing I was just imagining, well, that doesn't look good, is, come on. I've got to pay attention to where my, oh, that's you. Is that this one? I don't know. Okay, where am I? I don't know actually how to get rid of these extra segments. Dylan, how to get rid of those extra segments? Like these little line segments. I don't want these additional segments. Do I just hit delete there? Does nothing. Fusion 360 combine line segments. Oh my gosh, just a minute to do it. There's no join. Great. What? Oh, that's annoying. You may not be able to. The problem is I want to add a radius here, so I just have to select all these. Okay, anyway, whatever. What I actually want to do Why do I keep getting back in the appearance palette? What I actually want to do is move this, but that really ruins this. Maybe we just redraw these. How does that sound? Is it this? Okay, that's fine. But I think I want it to be, I don't even actually know if I'm going to like this, but the thing I'm imagining is a slope on the front here, and then a fillet, a little bit of a fillet here. That might make this all look insane, though. So I don't know about it. I think I hate it. Maybe it needs to go backwards. Maybe that's what would be cool. Have it like angle back in. Would that be the cool person way to do this? So this, have this like here. This is probably a bad idea. The problem is if I probably don't want to bother with the angle of this piece. Maybe I do. Probably I don't. Dang it, get back in there. Oh, dag nabbit. Like kind of mid-century modern space age kind of thing. I think that's only good. Uh-oh. What's your problem? I feel like everything I've done in the last 10 minutes has been bad. And I just kind of want to take it all back. Although actually seeing what I just did, if I just had the if I just had this exact thing but a little bit further forward, I don't think it would bother me actually. Now that it's all said and done, now that I've said things that I can't take back, I think it wouldn't actually bother me if that front face was just a little forward. So that's probably what I'll actually do. That's probably it. I don't know if what I said made any sense, but so I want to go to this body, and I want to go to this sketch, and I think the idea is just move this stuff forward a touch. Then I think we do need to reassess what's going on here. That was probably too much, but you get the idea. Make that 10 millimeters, and then everybody's happy. Well, okay. I'm not that happy. I should have moved it forward half that distance, but hey. Probably what I will do is Baltic birch plywood, because I kind of make everything out of Baltic birch plywood like this. Because I love the edge. This is bad camera view. Just Baltic birch ply, but leave the ply. Probably. Because I have other stuff in here that I've made out of Baltic birch ply. You can see it. I made like a little network rack up there. You can't even see it. It's behind this light. Anyway, and that, or this, that cleat wall. I made the cleats out of Baltic birch ply. Like, this. Oh, thanks. I'm getting there. It's getting close. It's still a mess. I made a huge mess over here today that no one should look at. But so it'll basically be this vibe. Is what I'm thinking. Thank you. The real question. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. The real question is, this is the prototype, by the way. It was a mess. It sounded bad. Redesigning this whole thing. It'll be better this way. It'll be better as a big, ridiculous object, I think. I think it's going to be better as a big, ridiculous object than as just like some weird little 3D printed thing. The thing I'm just not sure about is I kind of want to incorporate some visual element as you're playing to show your progress in the note selection. So one possibility is a little screen, which I don't think I really want a screen. Another possibility is like two kind of milky, one or two, I don't know, like a milk acrylic kind of panel. What I think would look cool is like a little panel in the middle, but I've already made this choice. I could change my mind on this choice, I guess. But I don't want to. I really need to like just make some decisions and live with them. So I basically bought like a little, after on the last prototype of this, I was continually trying to find ways to make a Raspberry Pi not sound terrible, and was getting lots of little amplifiers and little amplifier hats, whatever. And it just kept getting more and more expensive and still sounding bad when I could just pay $15 and just get this and it sounds fine. It sounds totally good and for way cheaper, which is frustrating because you would want to think like, oh, if I make everything myself, whatever, but it's not true. There's lots of things I could buy to make the Raspberry Pi put out better audio, but they would be so much more expensive than just plugging in this thing. And I know that because I've done this, I've used this on other projects. So, which means, you know, I will probably reconsider what this looks like what the layout of this speaker grill, basically. And this has these two kind of like little tweetery friends. And then it's got some kind of like little bass buddy in the middle. And I don't know how much that really matters. Did I get a bigger one of these? Maybe the one I bought yesterday was bigger. I think I actually got this 8-watt one instead. Is that true? If not that one, this one? Anyway, it gets here tomorrow. Yes, purchased it yesterday. I do. I made my most recent one. We can look at it in Fusion. I used to use fritzing, and then just as of like late last year, early this year, kind of probably even just earlier this year, I decided to, okay, let's save this. This project has no custom PCBs, at least not yet. It may end up with one, depending on what I do with the lighting element. But I did a obnoxiously huge project that is finally almost done. That was probably one of my more complex PCBs. Actually, probably not my most complex PCB, but one of my more complex and at least my best looking one. I think it's my most beautiful PCB. Where is it? That is the fixture. It's here. Is it this one? So the PCB design, so what is the lineage? Like Autodesk bought, what's its face? Eagle, and has integrated most of that into Fusion, which is rad because you can do, how do I do the view where you view the, I gotta think about this for a second, sorry. Like how there's a, sorry, that was the right view. I just need to view packages. So you set up a PCB project, and then you can do, first you do your schematic and lay everything out in the schematic in a way that makes sense, which is, this was not very complicated electrically. I only made it complicated because I wanted it to be very pretty. And so it is a very pretty, an extremely symmetrical board. And then the thing that is so rad is not only can you do the schematic going straight to the PCB, which is nice, get everything ready. Oh my gosh, I'm not sharing. I'm sorry. How did I end up just on my face? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You guys got to throw tomatoes at me when I do that stuff. I forgot I switched to full screen. Okay, in here. How long have I just been not showing anything? That's embarrassing. Yeah, see the passion. Okay, anyway, this is what I was pulling up. So you do the schematic, and then from the schematic, you can do the PCB layout, which the tools are, it's, you know, it's still a bit obnoxious, not gonna lie to you, but it's pretty good as far as like, whatever, EDM software, is that what it's called? But then what is so cool about doing it in Fusion is then you can go basically straight to a model of the device that then you can just drop into your larger design. So once you have this, you can just drop this, like your actual PCB design, into your full design, which is pretty rad. I made some modifications since I did this one, but generally speaking, it's a cool process. Now, I'm into it and I recommend it. Although, if you were just going to start learning today, I would almost say to use, what is it called? It's not EDM. Easy, what's it called? EDA. Sorry, it's EDA, not EDM. EDA. If you use Easy EDA, which is, I guess it's owned by the same people that own JCB PCB, they basically just give you free PCBs, because any design that you design using this software, even in the free like online editor, this is a desktop version too, they will give you monthly credit, like $8 a month or something, to make PCBs. And the PCBs from that company are so cheap that you just basically get free PCBs. So I chose not to, and another thing that is really cool about it is the library that this design software provides is the library of components that is available from the PCB manufacturer. So you can also have them populated really easily. So you can, if you design in here and pick from the components that this company provides, they will also just populate it for you. And then now actually this company does 3D prints as well, and like 3D print enclosures for you and stuff. I decided not to do that because I wanted to know how to do it in Fusion, but it's still pretty cool. Okay, Sorry, now that I've totally lost the thread. The thing I was thinking, that did I show any of this? How embarrassing. This is the speaker. I don't remember how long you've been staring at my face. This is the speaker I bought. It's not very big. I think it gets here tomorrow and I can like get all the dimensions and do a little mock-up to stick in CAD. So what I think I could do though is have two holes. I'm not sure how important it is basically to have I'm not sure how important it is to actually have holes in front of that center driver. If that makes sense. Like that center driver is sort of their little fake base buddy. And so what I think I could maybe get away with is just holes for these little buddies on both sides. I mean, maybe now that I see this, maybe I should have gotten the bigger one. Maybe I blew it. Maybe I made a terrible mistake. But, and then put some LED feature in the middle, I guess is what all of this comes down to. Is like, do I want some kind of, I mean, this was not very expensive. I don't want that dumb light, but you could imagine depending on how wide this thing is, which is not very wide, having like speaker grills on both sides and then some kind of LED feature in the middle. I don't know. I really am not decided on that. You two say the nicest things. Look, you both have gold pixel hearts. What does that gold pixel heart mean? Oh, thanks for the follows also. Appreciate that. I do need to stop soon, but I feel like this was pretty good progress. I feel like this, there's certainly work to be done, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. And then if we have this little shelfie guy, we don't actually have to worry that much about, I think the lines are a little dopey though. Maybe we do want to, I was just thinking maybe we do actually want to put this at an angle, like an angle here and an angle on this little front panel. Might be nicer, just so it doesn't look quite like so much like a shoe. Again, slightly more annoying, but not outrageously so, especially if it's just like, I don't know, 10 degrees or something. Not a huge angle, like a pretty minor one. And the software is basically done unless I decide to do the LED feature, and that I'm just torn on. And then I guess I could add a power switch. Do I add a power switch? If I don't add a power switch, here's the most annoying part about this whole thing. Sad story. Oh, that's cool. I've done, heat has been used for a few different Twitch things, like that Twitch did. And I don't know if I will ever do it again because I've only had bad experiences working with Twitch, basically. Like some, yeah, very frustrating professional experiences with Twitch and heat, unfortunately. Okay, so yeah, the worst part about this project, as I was about to say, is just it's okay, it's fine. It's almost laughable how bad it is. Like the last thing I did for them, it took like probably longer to get paid than any other time in my professional life. Like it was such a battle to get them to actually pay me. And by the time but the good news is by the time they actually paid me, I had given up on ever being paid. So it was basically like free money. And that's how I justified buying the laser cutter. Because I was like, well, you know, this money basically is free because I didn't expect I was ever going to see it. So from that perspective, it was great. And it's unfortunate because yeah, well, I don't want to go super deep into it, but a lot of what Twitch really cares about from a business side of things is advertising, obviously, and keeping advertising partners happy and all of those things. And so, but they don't quite know how to do it. Like they know they have this platform and they have all these eyeballs and they have people willing to pay money to like engage those eyeballs. But the ideas they have on how to do it, maybe not the best. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think you will find that almost in any situation where creativity and money overlap, unfortunately. And any situation where a platform has no real value beyond the content its users create. Like, if no one streams on Twitch, Twitch has no value. I mean, obviously they have tech infrastructure and all of those things, but their product is so reliant on their creators, and they don't generally, creators don't benefit a tremendous amount from that. Okay. The lines on this are not that elegant. I feel like I need to go look at like we need to go to Pinterest and look at some vintage organs or something just to find some nice lines, or vintage synthesizers. Yeah, like look at this. Like just even this, just more elegant lines, I think would go a long way. Just some. I mean, this is no, we're not too far off from this mini moog, but just some diagonals. So just having that front face diagonal, I think will. It's funny how consistent that language is. I think will help. Something like this angle, whatever this angle is. This is, God, look at that. That is gorgeous. Oh, look at that thing. I love the idea of this separate little piece sticking up. Oof. Okay, don't get distracted. We can't, like, we got to make stuff. We can't worry about it being the most perfect. We'll make more stuff in the future. It's okay. This one doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, but I feel like just finding some more diagonals is gonna help us. And that probably really just means that front-facing panel. And then so the real question, I think, is going to be once we get the speaker decided. Look how cute that is. That is just adorable. Is that a real thing? No, it's 3D modeled. It's so hard to tell what is real. Look at that thing. Oh my gosh. Like, what do we do with that front face? Is it really just the... Look at that. Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's probably not a real thing, but it's beautiful. Maybe we have like a little logo in the middle. That's cute. That is very cute, actually. I was actually thinking about this. Oops. Some little, it wouldn't be a microphone, but some little element that sat on top as the visual indicator. But not so sure about that. The problem with these is so many of these are just like fake 3D models of things that aren't real. So it's just a bunch of buttons and knobs that look cool but don't actually do anything. And this device doesn't really need buttons and knobs. I mean, I could certainly imagine giving it a big volume knob. That would be annoying. I'd really have to think about how to do that. how would I do that? I guess I could have some kind of encoder that's sending MIDI sysx messages or something. I'm sure somebody has made like an ALSA volume knob that uses GPIO. This is the problem. You start looking at beautiful artwork on Pinterest, and you just break your heart. So rotary encoder. So who's talking to the? Yeah, we'd have to write something, which is not the end of the world. I would not use Python for this, but yeah, I guess sheesh. Not my. That's more justification to stick a microcontroller in it, because I just don't like doing that stuff with a Pi. With Pi GPIO. Oh my gosh, look at all this stuff. It's beautiful. It's all beautiful. But then that starts to make you think, yeah, you can definitely start to see how to, you'd have a little panel, and then on that panel, it would just have its own little brain run by ESP32 or probably a Teensy or something, whatever, something very simple, because it just has to do some I/O, and then that thing would plug into the Raspberry Pi. Then the question is just sort of like, how would I want that to talk? Because the way I did this, which I'm now thinking maybe I shouldn't have, but it's the way that I did it, is that I made this a Homebridge plugin that listens to MIDI, and it works great, but it's like to talk to external hardware. I don't know if I would want to stick all of that in the Homebridge part of things. So I'd probably want to do a pretty substantial software rewrite. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Ooh, I do like this. I mean, this is very, very close to what we're making, right? Like this is almost shockingly close to the thing that okay, I need you guys to vouch for me that I didn't see this before I started making this, because now this just looks like a bad version of this. But I think the biggest thing is the angle on the front. You can see though they left this piece vertical, which is what I would do as well. I appreciate the vouch. We gotta look out for each other. That's a good one too. Really looks like this person saw this though. I mean, I don't want to call anybody a liar here, but doesn't it kind of seem like this person saw that other thing? Oh boy. Okay, so we need to think about some more stylish lines. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, well, that is very close. That's interesting. Where it's just like, oh, I hadn't really considered that. Where our little doodad. Gosh, now I'm finding so many of these. The idea that our little doodad is just a little rack for the keyboard is kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. I'm not sure if I like that idea or not. I think I actually don't like that idea, because I think one of the things I'm trying to sort of do with this design is hide the upper portion. So but these lines are nice. Lots of wedges. Yeah, this Some serious. Oh, look at that! Look at the wrist rest. Oof. Hot stuff. Okay, now my thing just looks dumb. My thing looks dumb as all hell. I hurt my own feelings. But I think if this line, if we kind of like, and that's probably all it really needs, is a diagonal here. I still think a diagonal here would be nice. It'd be a little bit annoying, but. Oh, I know what to do. Actually, I know what to do. I know what to do. Obviously. These don't need to go to the end. This bottom piece doesn't go to the end, and we can keep our radii. Or we could even bump it up a little bit, actually. Could be cool. So the flat part. Yeah. That's kind of how I made that thing. Okay. Well, I'm not going to do that today. I feel like we made a lot of progress. The thing I'm so uncertain about is incorporating some like LED-ish part. But the nice thing about this design is this front panel could just get swapped out. So they all copied me. Dylan, you're right. They did. We got to send a cease and desist to all of these people. This one is good. Yeah, all the wedgie boys. We like the wedgie boys. I appreciate good vibes out of nowhere. I'm very grateful to the two of you. Okay, but I do think I have to call it. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss the both of you. It's sad. So I feel like we just met, and now I'm gonna leave. It's a sad story, but I think we learned a lot. And I think what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say right now, whether I believe it or not. This is what I'm gonna say to you: is that V1 of this project, Mark 1, is basically just a speaker grill on the front. That is Mark 1. Mark 2 is a microcontroller with controls on the front panel, I/O basically on the front panel. I think that's what we're talking about here. Yeah, we should raid. That's true. I haven't raided anybody in so long. I appreciate that. Okay, no, okay. I actually built a thing just for this very occasion. It's somehow, I don't even know if it works. Does this work? Yeah, this should show people who are using heat right now. The trick is they may not actually be using it. In other words, they may just like have it installed, but aren't actually, don't actually have anything up. So who's doing something interesting? Who do we need to check out here? Assuming that they're actually using heat at this moment, which I currently am not filtering for. Because I can't. Wait, look, I'm using it. Is that what I look like? Well, what's this person doing? Vice Project Doom on NES. Okay, just ignore the ads. Okay, testing heat offline. Unfortunately, you used to be able to. There used to be this thing called the Twitch developer rig that you could use, and of course Twitch killed it. So you can't, sadly. So what people usually do now, I apologize, but what people usually do now is just make a fake channel. Just like have a fake, like a dev channel they use for testing. Yeah, a second account. The at some point now, I just want to know what's going on here. I just want to be sure that we're actually using Heat, because sometimes people have Heat installed, but they don't have an extension app. I mean, not that I'm totally against. I don't know. Kind of feel like we're not using Heat. I don't know. I'm sorry, I realized it became really incoherent a moment ago. I apologize for that. I don't know. Do love Elden Ring. Kind of curious about this music stream. What are these fellas up to? Oh, they're having a great time. Yeah, if you don't have an overlay up, there's no... So sometimes people install it and then, okay, no, we got kisses here. Okay, but we're only going to go in if we like this guy's music.
Giving up on my dog, even though at Fed she's gonna do this wrong. A crusty sock is not where this shit belongs.
Oh no, we suddenly have buffering problems, right? I was just getting into it.
Don't.
There were so many mess ups, but that was fun.
Oh, come on.
I wasn't used to these beats. That's my excuse.
When it comes to creating.
Sorry, guys. I was considering it, and then we got the ad.
Would you care to join my following? No, sir.
Wait a second. Twitter rabbit hole. Is this going to be... Are we about to see naked people? Hang on.
Eine Judikative, Exekutive und Legislative gibt, dass einer nicht die Macht über alles hat und.
A whole lot of German. I always am self-conscious. I probably shouldn't be. I'm self-conscious about joining, because I always like to say, like, hey, I made Heat. Hope it's working well for you. But if I don't speak the language of the people streaming, then I feel embarrassed. But are we just no English speakers using Heat tonight? Wait, what are we doing here?
You guys want?
Okay, are we heating here? Nightingale? Plenty of people just install it and then forget about it. Some people only use it sometimes to like let people vote for stuff or whatever. So that is a hard part. What I actually should do, and what I will do at some point, is to watch for like where clicks are coming from, like a Twitch-wide heat map or something, so I can just know who's using Heat at any given moment. Now I feel like I've prolonged this too long, and we're just watching Twitch together. We're just watching people not actually using Heat. This is not a lucky day for Heat. I don't know. I'm losing my... Factorio. Let's play Factorio over here. What are you working on? What's What's going on over there? Okay, here we go. We have an actual heat eater. A Dotus. I feel like I've rated a Dotus before.
Yeah, I think that would be better. We're gonna do the colored backlights.
Let's do it. Let's raid a Dotus. I forgot how to work. How do you raid? I don't remember. / raid a Dotus. Is that how we do this?
I don't know who you are. Whoever you are. Hello.
What if I mess up? I get stage fright. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and then what do? Do we like count it down, and then I panic, right? I'm gonna panic. Do I say goodbye to you before or after we start raiding? Crab's a pro raider?
Whatever I end up doing, I'm gonna have to.
Am I shy?
Like redesign myself, right?
I'm not shy. I have just crippling social anxiety. Wait, Sophie's here now. We're just getting ready to raid, Sophie. Okay. I just want to go play by play here. Crab. I'm going to start the raid. I'm going to tell us... Right. Okay. Well, thank you for being here, Sophie. I appreciate that. I'm going to start the raid, and then I'm going to panic and hyperventilate a little bit. And then I'm going to say goodbye. And then we're going to go say hello to a Dotus. And then I'm going to go eat some food. I think we're all in agreement that this is the thing to do. Sophie, this is what we were working on, by the way. And then suddenly we found all these people that copied me in the past. We found all these people with time machines that use their time machine to copy what I have not yet made. And it's pretty upsetting. I'm actually pretty hurt about the whole thing. But what are you going to do? You know, I don't have a time machine. I'm not rich. If I had a time machine, I would be rich, probably. Yeah, it's a bummer. Okay, no, wait, we all got it. Okay, any raid message you want us to send? I don't know. When Life is Yours is here, he always does this ridiculous emote of my head. I don't know if it still exists. Pretty bad at Twitch, everybody. Somewhere there's a picture of, I don't know, whatever. He likes to use this unflattering picture of me making a really skeptical looking face. Does that still exist? Oh, it's this. Look, I didn't even have any hair. Sophie, you can do it. You can definitely do it. Get into Fusion. You're going to do this. Oh, you can't use this. I'm not. I don't really want you to use my face. I'm just telling you what Life is Yours does. When he's around. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're doing this. Just take a deep breath. I've been getting into Blender. I used to be quite anti-Blender, and I feel like as of the last couple versions, like when I first tried to use Blender, I have a background in like Maya and Cinema 4D. I'm mediocre at both, but every time I would use Blender, it was like it was designed by someone who had never used a computer before. Which makes sense because Blender is like 45 programs in one, so you don't really have to use anything else. And so and then a year or two ago, they finally added a feature in Blender when you installed it that was like use industry standard shortcuts. So I was like, okay, got this. But so then I did that for a while, but then I was like, oh, I can't ever use any documentation or help because they're using the Blender shortcuts. So finally this year, like on a project this summer, I switched to Blender and did okay. I did okay. Okay, but Sophie, this is good. So, Sophie is going to learn how to use Fusion now, and that's going to be very helpful. So I'm pretty excited about that. Did you say, let's see my donut? What does that mean? What is that? What is it? Is that a Blender reference, or are you harassing me? Do I have to call the cops? I apologize for saying that. I was just surprised. I thought it was everybody used the monkey. Do we all use the donut now? Is that the thing? I thought Blender always used that same monkey. I'm sorry, I haven't made a donut. I don't have a donut. I have a donut I drew a very long time ago. It is? I thought the monkey was like the hell. Okay, well, okay. Sophie knows what's going on. I don't. Okay. Is this person still streaming? We're going to go do this. Just take a deep breath. I already forgot what I'm doing. I'm typing raid and this person's name. And then I'm going to say goodbye to you. And then we're going to go over there. Is that how this works? These kids, I know it is pretty sad. Kind of heartbreaking. I never really liked that monkey anyway, but. Okay. Raid, into the stream, start the new stream. I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to screw this up. We're doing it. We're doing this. Ready? Raid. I did a thing. We're doing this now. Okay, everybody, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Everybody who stopped by early, I really appreciate it. Crab, Dylan, Sophie, lovely to see and meet all of you. But I'm doing it now. Are we ready to do this? Okay, I'm gonna go. Goodbye.